Greetings and welcome back to my channel. This is a special equinox gift for you for the fall equinox. For those of us who are in the northern hemisphere, if you're in the southern hemisphere, then you are going to be entering into spring while we're entering into fall. So some of the things I'm going to say are not going to be as relevant for you, but certainly the practice that I share with you today is something that you can do at any time. I always think of the fall equinox as the time when we're really barreling in towards winter, because the days are going to be getting shorter and shorter and the nights are going to be getting longer and longer. And it seems like the pace picks up during this quarter of the year. I'm not actually sure if that's true, but it's what it feels like to me. The natural world is starting to slow down, to go inside. You'll see, if you live where there are deciduous trees, that there's lots of color happening. Where I live, there's some, but there's also more evergreens. But there are always other signs where I know that my vegetable garden is slowing down. And in fact, my collard greens are speeding up because they like the cooler weather. It's very easy in our technologically based society to be dissociated from the cycles that are happening in the natural world. And yet we are really designed to be in alignment with these cycles. With computers, with electricity, we're able to stay up as late as we want to, regardless of how dark or how cold it is. But prior to having that, we were really agricultural people who were very focused on the cycles of the year. And right now would be harvest time, where we would be bringing in, whether it was grain or whether it was squashes or vegetables or pulling up carrots, whatever it was, we would be getting ready for winter. Where I live in Northern California, it's a little bit paradoxical because on the one hand, some things are slowing down for sure, but other things are going to start growing when the rains return. In fact, today, I think we have some mist and we may have our very first rain of the year, which we need very, very much here in parched California. But there's a bigger paradox that many of us experience that is left over from our agricultural roots, which is that this is back to school time. In our time, summertime is vacation time. It's often time to be outside. It's time to be going out and playing. And then when September comes, and even now when August comes, it's back to school. So we come inside, we start being more mentally focused, and we're more focused on technology. This is often a time when we start to get really busy in a different kind of way, heading into the holidays. But outside in the natural world, things are slowing down and going more inward. So you might be feeling a little bit of tension inside of you between what your animal body is really feeling and what your animal body is calling for and what the society around you is messaging to you. And this tension can create stress that we're not really even aware of because it's just so normal, meaning it's typical or it's something that we experience every year. Some people start to have SAD this time of year, seasonal affect disorder, where they start to feel depressed because the days are getting shorter and the sunlight is less. I know for me, I don't think I have SAD, but I definitely notice that my energy starts to want to become more inward. I'm not as extroverted. I'm not as buoyant. I'm not quite as bouncy as I am during the spring and summer. I think part of that is that I was born in the spring and my child was born in September. They just had their 20th birthday and they actually love this time of year. So you could check it out for yourself. How do you feel as we go into autumn, as we go into winter? Is it something that you're looking forward to? I mean, one of the writers who I love so much, Sharon Blackie, who wrote If Women Rose Rooted, I highly recommend that book if you haven't seen it. But I heard her on a podcast recently saying that she actually really likes this time of year because she considers herself more a person of the dark and kind of the inward and the shadow aspect. And I don't mean that in a negative way at all. It's just a different quality of being. So you can see for yourself what's true for you. How do you feel like excited or just feel good this time of year? Some people like it because they like the coming inside and getting cozy and having tea, having a blanket, reading a good book, things like that. I think part of what's hard for me is the pandemic is making it so that our social engagements are different than they were before. And in the summer, I don't know about you, but I spent a lot of time with friends outside. I also went to restaurants, eating outside. I did a lot of things outside because I felt safer doing that. And as we head into autumn and the days are shorter and it's going to get colder, it's not going to be as easy to do that. And so then we get to see, are we going to be inside with people more? If so, how are we going to do that? What's it going to be like going into a restaurant, for example? So I know for me, that's creating a little bit of discomfort as I imagined going into the winter. And it looks like the pandemic's going to be with us for a while, certainly through this winter and maybe for another year or year and a half. And so this is the kind of thing we have to keep adjusting to. I'm bringing these elements to our awareness because I think that they're brewing inside a lot of us, but we may not talk about them. We may not even know what that feeling is that we have inside. And when I do that, it's because I believe if we bring things up to the surface, we can look at it, we can reflect on it, and then we can make choices about how we want to respond to those feelings that we have. I want to share with you today a practice that comes out of Kundalini yoga. It's a practice that I'm doing every morning now as part of a 90-day practice that I committed to for the last teacher training in Radiant Body Yoga that I did a couple of months ago. And we needed to do a 90-day practice. So I selected this particular one. I really like it because it's relatively short, but it's very, very potent. And it helps me feel really energized, but also calm. It's great for releasing this kind of tension that you might be feeling. And it's also wonderful for helping us to connect both with, our belly energy and then our heart and then our upper energy centers. And so we get the whole full body to be engaged, to be cleared and energized. And when I'm done with that, I have this immense sense of calm, but I also kind of feel like I could do anything. So I wanted to share that with you. I think that doing this practice will enable you to come back more into a state of balance. I think balance is something that we really swing around. I don't think we can really live in balance, but we can have a ways to, if we feel like we've kind of gone this way, we can come back and swing back a little bit. We can come back around this line, which is balance that we swing. And I feel that this practice that I've been doing, and I will be doing for another couple of months, has been enormously beneficial for me, and actually all of the Kundalini yoga practices that I've been doing in the mornings for months now is one of the key things that has helped me to stay stable, resilient, and strong through the challenges that the pandemic has brought us. I do want to make a little side note here that I just a few days ago pre-recorded a session with my yoga teacher, Kia Miller, who I adore. And it's going to be part of the Women Evolving Our World, Feminine Sovereignty, Leadership, and the Right Use of Power virtual conference that I'm hosting that's coming up October 7th, 8th, and 9th. And you can find videos about that on my YouTube channel if you want to find out more about it. She shared in that session about why these practices work so well. So I invite you to come and be a part of that conference, and you'll have a chance to listen to her pre-recorded session if that interests you. I want to let you know that I recorded this practice in a very informal way. I brought you into my meditation space. I'm sitting in front of my altar. I have no makeup on. I'm just wearing, the kind of top that I would normally wear, early in the morning, really before I've talked to anybody. And so I invite you, as you listen to this piece, this practice piece, that you are in a private space, that you're able to really create a sacred environment and a sacred experience for you so that you're not interrupted, you're not multitasking, you really do need to pay full attention. Before we dive into the practice, I invite you to take a moment just to close your eyes and tune in and see how you feel right now. And tune in and reflect upon, what did you notice when I brought up this possibility of feeling this kind of tension that's arising from the paradox of energy turning inward in the natural world and things slowing down. But in our society, things actually kind of speeding up, and our use of technology that enables us to do that. So let's just take a moment now. I'm going to close my eyes with you, take a couple of deep breaths, and just tune in and notice how you feel, and then we'll go right into the practice. I'm going to share with you the current Kundalini yoga practice that I'm doing every morning for my sadhana. Sadhana is what I call my date with the divine. It's my time to be really clearing my energy, boosting my energy, and connecting with my own inner being and with the flow of life. I also typically end my sessions with prayer in my meditation, which I won't be doing so much now because I'll be here with you. But I invite you to do whatever feels right to you. I want you to know that I do not consider this religious in any way. The practice comes out of ancient yoga traditions, and so it does have that lineage. And we are fortunate here in the West to have been receiving these teachings over the last 80 years or so, particularly the last 30. And what I'm going to share with you today is probably different than maybe what you have experienced before as yoga. And it's not just the asana practices, the postures, that if you practice yoga in a yoga studio or in a gym, you're probably more familiar with. I was trained by Kia Miller, and Kundalini yoga is part of the Radiant Body Yoga practice. What we're going to do today is about a 17-minute practice, and I'm going to guide you through it. I want to teach you the elements so that when we get into the practice, we can just go straight through without me having to give a lot of direction. So let's get into it. We're going to be using a breath called the master breath. It's also known as breath of fire. So let me teach you that. I want to preface this by saying that it does not have to be super fast and it does not have to be super intense. What we're doing in terms of this Kriya this morning, and a Kriya just means a series of typically breath, practice, and postures and dynamic movement, sometimes with mudras, shapes to the hands and the arms, and sometimes with mantras, but we're not going to do a mantra today. What we're going to do today is the breath work, which is the master breath, and then we're going to be using dynamic movements with our arms. So the master breath, the easiest way to learn this, I learned it this way from Kia, is that you stick out your tongue and you pant like a dog. And what you want to feel is the belly. So I'm going to invite you to put your hand right below your navel, okay? And you want to feel the belly going in and in and in. So the emphasis is on the belly going in and the breath going out. And then the belly goes in, and then as it releases, you have the inhale. Okay, so let's try this with panting like a dog first. Put your hands on your belly, just a little below your navel, and we're going to pant like a dog. Now, you don't want to do it super fast like a dog that's been running around and is super hot and needs to sweat through its tongue. Like, you don't want to do that. Okay, that'll make you hyperventilate. You'll feel lightheaded and it won't feel good. Okay, so it's and the belly's going. And if you listen carefully, you can hear the little inhale. Now, close your mouth and do it through the nose. That's all it is, okay? And when you get what the rhythm is like, okay, and you create your own rhythm, I guarantee you can do this for long periods of time. For 130 days, I did 31 minutes of breath of fire with a sequence that was similar to the one that we're going to do today. And so you can definitely do it for long periods of time. And it's extremely rejuvenating. It's very cleansing. It's detoxifying. And it's also energizing. And it leaves you very calm and yet energized. So it's one of the reasons that I love it. We're going to do a series of 3 minutes using breath of fire with different dynamic movements. The very first one, the arms are here, and you're gonna do a kind of jerky movement like you were hitting a drum, okay? And then you're gonna do that with the breath. You're welcome to match my rhythm or to find the rhythm that works for you. Again, you do not need to do this really fast, and if you need to slow it down, that's fine. So we're going to do that for 3 minutes. Then we're going to pause with the hands facing down towards the earth. I'm going to invite you to pull up on your pelvic floor and really be pushing energy up from the pelvis, up through the belly, up into the heart. You'll feel your heart open, and then the energy will go up into the center of the head. And I'll lead you through that a little bit when we get there. You'll hold the breath for as long as you can, for up to 30 seconds. I'll be holding it for 30 seconds. If you need to let go sooner, that's totally fine. Then we're going to sit for another 30 seconds. So there's like a little minute in between these 3 minutes. And then we'll do the next posture. So the next one, the elbows are into the sides of the body, and we're going to do, again, another kind of jerky motion. Your hands are going to be a little scooped, so you're going to be scooping as if you are splashing water on your face. And then we're going to do that again with breath of fire. Do this as much as you possibly can. If you do need to take a break, you can. Now, when we reach the 3 minutes, what we're going to do is we're going to bring the arms in. We're going to bring the breath in and then reach the arms out. I will demonstrate. And you're going to reach the arms out. Shoulders are down on the back. Okay, the arms are rotated. And the hands are just like this, and they're reaching outward. Now, when you're doing this, feel your heart open. This movement that you're doing is really bringing a lot of energy into your heart, okay? So as you complete and then reach out, you're going to be stabilizing that energy at the heart. And so you really want to be able to feel the power of this posture, which you will, okay, because you'll be generating a lot of energy. Again, we're going to take the breath in. We're going to hold it for as long as you can, up to 30 seconds, pulling in on the pelvic floor, pushing the energy up through the belly and into the heart, and you'll feel your heart expand. Then we'll hold that for another 30 seconds for a total of a minute. Then with the last one, this is a very vigorous one, and you may or may not be able to do this movement the entire time, which is fine. Just do what you can. And which is fine. Just do what you can. We're going to do it with breath of fire, and it looks like this. Now, when I'm reaching up, my hands are going one over the top of the other, and they are switching with every one. And then, so you're going to have curved arms, and then they're going to reach out long, okay? And the hands are reaching out. So, again, just do what you can. If for some reason your arms get tired, you really can't do it, just bring the arms down, continue the breath. When you're ready, rejoin. When we're done, we're going to reach the arms up. My arms are slightly curved inward, so the hands are reaching inward up here. And again, shoulders down the back. Make sure you're not, if you do this, it's really not going to feel good at all. So be using your shoulder blades to pull the shoulder blades down on your back, as we call the arms on the back. And then we're going to inhale, hold the breath, send it all the way up this time, all the way up the spine to the center of the brain. Hold it here. As you exhale, after 30 seconds, keep the arms there. Again, same with this, okay? When you exhale, you keep the arms there. You keep the arms here if you can. Hold it, and then hold the arms there for another 30 seconds. Be as still as you possibly can. And then when we're done with that minute, we're going to come down and just have your palms facing up and connect your forefinger and your thumb. It doesn't have to be super intense or anything. It can be kind of soft, and just have the palms up and resting on your legs and then on your thighs. And then we're going to just sit for about 5 minutes and allow all of the energy that we created to stabilize. And this is a really, really crucial part of the practice because you've generated all this energy, the first one relating to the earth and the lower part of the body, then with this one relating to the heart, and then this one relating to the third eye and the center of the brain. And you want that energy to stabilize. We're going to have our eyes closed all the way through. Of course, you can open your eyes to look at me at any time that you want to. And you want to stay as still as you possibly can and notice the energy that is both inside of your body and all around your body. And I will give you just a few prompts while we're doing that 5 minutes of sitting that can help you to stay focused and direct you to a few places where you can be feeling that energy. I'm going to be using an app which is called so let me just close it so you can see what it looks like. Oh, no, it's not going to do that. Okay, it's called Insight Timer. Okay, this is what it looks like when you create what they call a preset. And so I have a preset here that's going to be dinging bells while we go through the process. I find this very, very helpful because then I don't have to watch a clock. I don't have a countdown timer. I don't have, a stopwatch or anything like that. It's just going to ding and that's going to tell me, okay, your 3 minutes is up. Now I have another minute for that hold, right? And I will cue you when you can exhale. Then we move on to the next one. It's also going to tell us when the 5 minutes is up. So I highly recommend that you get it. It's a free app. It's called Insight Timer, and you can set your own presets. This one is set for 17 minutes. So that's what we're going to do now. Okay, we're going to move into this Kriya now. I would support you before you come and sit to just do a little bit of movement. I like to do some circles this way, and the other way, just little hip circles. I also will do a little pelvic rocking just to open up my spine. I have a whole series of movements that I do, including some asana, but just any way that you can do to just loosen yourself up so that you can sit comfortably. Now you can sit, I'm sitting cross-legged on a cushion, or you can sit in a chair. It's totally fine to sit in a chair if sitting on a cushion or sitting on the floor is uncomfortable for you. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and get started. Again, the first movement is like this. The second movement is like this. The third movement is like this. We're going to do each one for 3 minutes with 1 minute in between. I also have a little bit of music that goes with this. I'm going to turn the volume up so maybe you'll be able to hear that. It's kind of a drone. It's not really, music, like it doesn't have melody or anything. But I find just having a little bit of a soundscape does help support me in my practice. I'm going to take a little sip of water here. I invite you to have a sip of water. Okay, and I just want to say, don't be nervous. If you've never done this before, just do what you can and take a break if you need to, and then rejoin us when you're rested and you feel able to. One of the things my teacher says is a mantra that she has is, I can, I will, I must. When we're doing something like this that can be challenging, and I use it when I'm coming into doing a practice that is hard for me. So you can use that if you want. All right, I'm going to go ahead, turn on Insight Timer. It's doing a 10-second countdown. I'm going to close my eyes and here we go. I'm just gonna stop and see. Just letting your shoulders relax, feeling your sit bones relating down into the earth, reaching the top of your head up into the sky. Belly's going. You're doing great. Just one more minute to go. Just a few more seconds. Take a big breath in. Pause the breath. Lift your pelvic floor, sending energy all the way up into your heart, keeping the hands facing down into the earth and holding very still. Keeping your hands where they are, go ahead and exhale. And again, stay very still, just breathing gently. Notice the expansion in your energy. Feeling the energy between your hands and the earth. Hands are slightly cupped, as if you were splashing water on your face. It's a quite strong, kind of jerky movement with breath of fire. Elbows are fairly close into the body. Try to relax everything else as your spine is reaching up into the sky and down into the earth. See if you can have just a little smile on your face while you do this. Making sure you're doing the inhale on the release. Finding your own rhythm. Good, just a little less than a minute to go. Staying present, seeing if you can just relax into the movement, allowing your thoughts to just slow down. Feeling your heart and the energy you're building in your heart. Just 10 more seconds. Big inhale. Pause the breath. Lift through your pelvic floor up into your heart. Feel the heart expand and reach the arms out from the shoulders, making sure the shoulders are on the back, creating space between your ears and your shoulders. Holding that breath as long as you can, just 10 more seconds. Keeping the arms out. Feeling the power of this posture. And then exhale, leaving the arms where they are if you can. And just be as still and quiet as possible. Feeling the energy all around you, reaching out as far as your fingertips. Last part here, arms are going to go up above the head. It's a strong, forceful movement. Just do your best. Stimulating the energy up above the head, in the upper energy centers. Spine is strong, elongated up towards the sky, down into the earth. Reaching the arms up from the back, not from the neck. Finding your rhythm and relaxing into the motion. Good, you can do it. If you need to take a break, don't make a big deal out of it. Just take a break and come back in when you can. Just one more minute to go. Twenty more seconds. Good, reaching the arms up, big inhale. Pause the breath, Pushing the energy up from the pelvic floor, through the belly, all the way up through the heart to the center of the brain. Hold. Posture is strong, arms are strong, spine is long. Keep the arms where they are and gently exhale. Be very still. Notice your energy inside and all around you. Just drink it in and gently bring the arms down, bring the forefinger and the thumbs together. Palms are going to be up on your thighs. I'm going to turn down this music a little bit. So become very still and very quiet. We're going to sit for 5 minutes. Have your spine be reaching up and down, and try to relax everything else. Relax your eyes, your jaw, your shoulders, your lower back, your belly. Let your skeleton, your bones support you. Just gently breathing, bringing your awareness into the center of your brain. Noticing the energy all around your head, inside the brain, and 360 degrees around your head. Bringing your awareness into your heart. Feel your heart expand a little bit as you bring your attention there. Tuning into the energy inside your heart and all around your torso. Good. And then bringing your awareness down into your pelvic bowl, to your belly, and all around your pelvis. Now seeing if you can connect your belly, your heart, and the center of your brain. Bringing your awareness to all three at once. Feeling the interiority of your body and around the outside in this bubble of light that is your own pranic field, your magnetic field, your aura. Just sitting quietly here for 2 more minutes. Take a big breath in. Bring your palms together in front of the heart and gently exhale. And one more time, big breath in. And as you exhale, just bow a little over your heart, acknowledging yourself, appreciating yourself for this time that you took today for your own self-care, your own self-love, your date with the divine. And as you're ready, just letting go gently. Thank you for practicing with me today. You would be well served by sitting for longer than the 5 minutes that we just did. I often sit for another 5, 10, even 15 minutes for longer after this, depending on how much time I have and how I feel. Also, I do my prayers, and sometimes I do writing, so I would encourage you to use that as a practice as well. All right, I hope you enjoyed our Kriya today. How do you feel now after engaging with that practice? Go ahead and close your eyes again and just tune in and compare how you're feeling now to that snapshot that you took before you did the practice. I know for me, my energy is completely different after I do this. I would also encourage you just to pick up a pen in your journal or piece of paper. Just make a few notes for yourself about how you're feeling right now. What is the harvest that you're bringing in this time of year? That's traditionally, this is the time of harvest for sure. And what is it that you're wanting for yourself? What's your desire between now and the end of the year? What do you want to be bringing your attention to? What do you hope is going to come into fruition for you? And also, how are you going to take care of yourself? Tuning in and really asking your body and your inner being about what is it that you're feeling right now? What are you needing? What are you desiring? And then perhaps make a couple of commitments to yourself about what you're going to do to take the best care of yourself during this time as we're heading into winter. I'm also going to pull just the practice out and upload this on my channel so that you can go back to it and listen to it on its own. Thanks for tuning in and practicing today. Please leave a comment about your reflection about this tension, this paradox that I've been suggesting. And then also about how did this practice land for you? How do you feel now after you've completed? Many blessings, much love. Bye for now.